Yeah, let's go. New year, new me, turn it up a new degree. I'm gonna make it to the top if it's the last thing I see. Work hard every day, work hard, then we play. I'll be doing everything in my own damn.
Hello and welcome to a news brief edition of the Marko Yamashita Show. I am your host, Marko Yamashita, and I am glad to be back on the air after having a very bad bout of what was called RSV or something to that effect, a respiratory infection. I am still recovering, so if my voice sounds a little hoarse, I apologize. I am still very much recovering from an infection and getting over that. But yes, thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you who come in live, those of you who watch the VOD, I am your host, Marko Yamashita. Today we are doing a recap coverage of what has been announced and what is coming up for the Hololive HOLOEARTH Metaverse project that Yago has announced here earlier this, late last year. We will be doing a recap of what has already been announced and what is going to be coming up, in addition to some news that has already been announced for a few other things that will be coming up here towards the end of the year for end of the year appearances for other events for Hololive itself. Umberto, welcome. Oreo, Ohio, konnichiwa. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am glad everyone is coming in here. Thank you so much for dropping in. I apologize for being gone. I have been recovering from a respiratory infection. My throat still is not 100%, but I am very much still alive. So we are at least going to try to broadcast a little bit and do what we can to at least stay on the air while I'm continuing to recover. So let's go over some of the info, guys. So on December 10th, Yago put out a press release from Cover Core stating about Hololive Alternative and the Metaverse project of HOLOEARTH, basically stating that it is still very much in development, and that they had launched this project here, and that they had intended on having this as a virtual space with various content to allow fans to experience HOLOEARTH with talent belonging to Hololive production. The new info about HOLOEARTH and Hololive Alternative was released on December 10th. A lot of that information has already been out there in... Can't sleep yet? I hear ya. A lot of information has been in circulation, but for those of you who have missed it, there has been a video in circulation that Hololive has shown here, and we'll put this on the screen here for you to see. And basically, this is alpha footage featuring Matsuri, Mel, and a few of the other girls here. As you can see, Mel is breakdancing very well here. As you can see, the footage itself here is is very basic. There is a lot of you know, you can see that there is a lot of you know, they've gotten the backgrounds at least in place. They got the environments in place. They've gotten some character interaction here. They've gotten some atmosphere in here. At least it looks like they got some. You know, they at least got collision going on here. If you notice that the land itself is extremely very basic and barren, though. It looks like there is some you know, things to interact with in the area here, and we'll actually zoom in a little bit here for those of you who want to look a little bit more. You have a hotbar here. It looks like they do have a few like NPC type animals. This looks very Genshin Impact, as you can see. Very Genshin Impact. This looks like a almost kind of a lift of what Genshin Impact looks like. The atmosphere, the environment has a very Genshin Impact like feel. So I am almost willing to bet that this is kind of like a Unity type build that is being lifted almost verbatim of what Genshin Impact has been built upon. All right. Now I'm gonna let this play a little bit here as the footage is going on. Now, in addition to showcasing some of the environments here, they have they also announced That's no problem, Berto. Thank you for dropping in. They're also they're showing some of the quest lines here. It looks like these are quest markers of what you have to do, and it looks like they're showing the interaction here. It looks it looks extremely basic of just punch this, collect that type thing, kind of like almost like a hunting and gathering type of fetch quest type situation here. And Mel getting wiped out. Now, in addition to showcasing this prototype here of what they are doing, they also announced that on Monday, December 26th, on 2100 hours Japan time, AZKi and one other performer will be performing live, and that's what they are advertising for this whole Protolive thing for the game itself. And the press release states that we have decided to hold a Protolive performance by the talent belonging to Hololive in HOLOEARTH. The event will be held for the purpose of verification and may be temporarily interrupted or terminated due to problems. This will include AZKi and one other performer that's scheduled to be added, and they have not announced who the other performer will be yet. I'm assuming since they are using someone like AZKi, I'm assuming, and this is just a guess here, I'm assuming maybe it'll be someone like Sora, since she's kind of like a face of the company, but and her face is pretty much put front and center with advertising HOLOEARTH itself, but we'll see. Also, they emphasize again that the footage that is being shown is internal test version, alpha test. So everything you are seeing is currently alpha tests shown, and is definitely not anything near the final product, which obviously seems to be the case with the lack of polish and refinement, as well as just the barrenness of the land itself. There seems to be just a general lack of liveliness within the environments themselves, as far as interaction, things to do, things to see. It just seems to be extremely empty with anything of anything someone would want to spend time in beyond just going to collect their dailies. So let's hope that they continue to add more things into it, and they add more more things besides just copying what other people are doing. Because I mean, just like rock edifices here are looking extremely Genshin Impact. I mean, I almost feel like I'm looking at Genshin, just looking at the rock edifices here from Genshin 1.0. See here, during using the test version, talent for Hololive were divided into 2 teams and competed for a time to defeat a boss, which is what we're watching right now. And which seems to be impressive for for definitely a 1.0 launch. Let's hope that this is the sign of things to come. This is definitely a 1.0 build. It definitely does not speak of world boss epicness, if you want to call that a word. Right. Well, this isn't even beta test. This is alpha. This is like we were talking about this the other day, where the client build was 0.3, something like that, where the number of the clients was showing that it was not even in beta yet. So they definitely have a lot of room to grow here. And as the footage has gone on, it's very important to emphasize that as we look at Hololive in general, their main webpage here is advertising the recruitment of development members for the HOLOEARTH project as they're developing this. That they are very much looking for help just to get just to keep this project going. We discussed this in about a week or two ago, where that they are in my opinion, they are in desperate need of looking for more people to expedite this project along. You have public relations managers that they're looking for. Their engineers are looking for. They're outsourcing platform engineers for their network, infrastructure engineers. They're looking for artists. They're looking for server engineers, Unity engineers, web developers. The 3D effects, character modelers, background designers. In my opinion, it looks like they're severely understaffed for this type of project, or they are relying a lot on entry-level type of candidates that are being hired that have, that are underexperienced, and that's why the development is going a lot slower than what it should be. Now, that's not to say that the game itself is going to be underdeveloped or that it's not going to be any good. From what we can see, the game definitely does show that there's a good amount of things that are happening here. I'm just kind of wondering, and this is getting kind of in an opinionated kind of position here. I'm kind of wondering if they aren't trying to do release too much at once here, where they're trying to do a main story quest line, all the side story quest stuff. They're trying to implement the entire sandbox portion of the situation. They're trying to implement the the interactive chat room performance concert portion, and they're trying to launch all portions of this platform all at the same time, whereas instead of launching them in segments or modules where you launch the game first, launch the core game portion of the game first, then you launch the sandbox portion, then you launch the chat room version portion where to do the concerts. You focus your teams on specific areas as opposed to trying to launch everything all at once. It just seems like they're trying to develop a lot all at once, and it's dragging on because they don't have enough people. I mean, that's my opinion, but if this game is supposed to launch next year and this is alpha build, they have a long way to go. I mean, this is alpha build, and this is literally vertical slice material here of what they're showing, and they it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good for an alpha state. However, you're not going you're not gonna hold an audience with this for a long time, and how are you going you're not going to be able to give an audience enough content to make it worth the return on investment if this is all that they have to show for it, and they're going to launch this next year. So, and just as a reminder, it costs MiHoYo $200 million in US dollars in investments and it was almost 3.5 years just to launch Genshin Impact 1.0. And Hololive hasn't spent that much money or that much time on this game. So I mean, that's something just to bear in mind. Yeah, they're building off of what Tower Fantasy and MiHoYo have done. So yeah, they have the advantage of, you know, taking what other people have done and build upon it. But you know, you have the cost of inflation, plus that they don't have the team of employees that MiHoYo had. I mean, MiHoYo had, I believe, somewhere along the lines of 600 developers working on Genshin Impact 1.0 at the cost of $200 million just to build 1.0. Plus, they had the return on investment of, okay, now you also have to pay gacha just to have one of these characters as a return to be able to play as one of them or have them on your team. So, I mean, that's another thing too. And there's absolutely nothing that they have shown yet, at least, you know, from what I've seen so far, that's, you know, how are they going to make the return on investment? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the other thing as well. So they also released additional portions of the manga to advance the story, which was very interesting. They additionally Hololive alternative Blu-ray continuation is to be released. The illustration of Blu-ray, which contains the full version of the theme song Storytime from the recently announced second teaser preview of Hololive alternative, has been released. The sale of that will be on Friday, December 30th, 2022, and they give a link to that. And the girls are all breakdancing again. Apparently, they all love doing that breakdance. Good job, girls. Okay, and see, we'll move on from this video here. Now, one of the other things that they announced here was that you know, due to the staging of the event, a large amount of communication is required during the performance. And please note that the performance may be disrupted due to internet connection conditions, etc. Now, we have discussed this in the past, where you know, one of the concerns I had was, you know, doing the live performance through this connection, where you're doing it in a virtual environment and 3D space. Now, you know, they are obviously doing this through a client where you're going to be seeing them in the client in real time, which is drastically different than using like a headset where you're looking at them in a 3D space through VR. However, since they are trying to transmit a 3D model in full motion, you know, this is kind of like a beta test version of it, where they are trying to test the connectivity, whether or not you know, there's enough transmission, that being able to transmit well enough, whether or not you know, they have enough bandwidth to be able to transmit full motion for one person, and then I'm assuming that they're gonna then add the second performer to add the second variable into it, so they can test if they can put two people in there and have them both perform. You know, you're testing basically voice over internet protocols in addition to video projection and live movements, and you're looking for latency issues and stuff like that. So that is definitely something that we'll have to be aware of. And then also the fact that, just with the client itself, when people were trying to log in and register, there was already a massive load on the server to begin with, just trying to have people register and log in, that they had a bottleneck there to begin with. So we very well may see a huge amount of problems with them trying to even start the program when this happens here on the 26th. So that is something to be aware of as well. It's here. Since the experience of this performance differs from each user's perspective, we allow users to post and distribute videos and still images using captured images and screenshots on videos and still images, sharing sites, and social media services. Please note that if sharing content or distributed is deemed inappropriate, we may have them removed. Our management, if you're trolling, you may get kicked, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So of course, if you still haven't downloaded the client, you can go to the HOLOEARTH.com website, download the beta version of the client. At this point, basically, you are just in a chat room. You are basically the logo. You can't even create your own avatar at this point, so you're just kind of the Hololive logo, and you're just kind of there in a room right now. So that's kind of where that's at. Well, let's move on. In addition to that, they have also announced that Hololive Productions has improved their virtual space and their delivery systems to allow and give additional features and functions for their talents to be able to allow multiple talents to collaborate and distribute in a virtual space through their in-house delivery system. Covercore has developed the system, and advanced their system that allows their talent to better express and collaborate with each other, and provide richer content to their fans. In this update, we have provided a virtual space collaboration function as a new delivery system style that makes use of 3D CG and tracking technology. It was already implemented with the ability to equip items, emote functions, and walk around in a virtual space. So basically, they had this technology kind of to begin with, but it was not nearly as advanced as what they have been using in recent times. We have seen them use this sparingly, like when they were doing their pool in their summer outfits, their swimsuit outfits, those types of things. But they have not been able to widely use this, like when they were at home, or when they have been able to utilize these things when they are, off remotely and wanting to interact with each other. And now they're able to use this with their game distributions, or their distributions from home, or when they are they're not in the office or in the studio for a collaboration, and they can actually utilize this technology and still have the appearance that they are working together, or they're in the same studio or in the same office together, which is pretty neat, because being able to have that kind of projection there and make it feel like you're together even though you're not together can really help a lot of people when they may feel isolated, or they're not able to get out as much, or they're just more of an introvert. Especially like people like Picora. Picora, she likes her alone time a lot, but she also likes, when she collabs with people to a certain point. So this is a very nice announcement that they've been able to do. So and then finally, female group Hololive will deliver a year-end special program on December 31st. And Covercore has announced that the program will be distributed on the official YouTube channel Hololive from 18:30 Japan time, Saturday, December 31st, 2022. In addition, Hololive production Countdown Live from 2022-2023 Hololive side will be distributed from 2300 Japan time on December 31st, Saturday. And it will be year-end Hololive with 19 performers from the Hololive branch, Hololive JP branch. There'll be 2 people from Hololive Indonesia and 2 people from Hololive English participating in that program. Date and time will be Saturday, December 31st. Program starts at 18:30 to 2300, and then the countdown will be from 2300. And then they have the link here, and so I assume that the room is already available, which it is, in 16 days. So if you are in America, like I am, the room is up and it starts at 3:30 a.m. Central Time, which is extremely early for me, but that's okay. And let's see here. Appearances will be from Fubuki, Subaru, Mio, Okayu, Karone, Miko, Suse, Marin, Watame, Botan, Mel, Koiri, Iris if she's over COVID by then, Ollie, Zeta, Bells, Achan, Aki, Noel, Kanata, Luna, Rami, Laplace, and Kure. This program will be part of the recorded videos. So part of it's going to be recorded, part of it's going to be recorded, and part of it's going to be live. So that's something to be aware of. Which is interesting. So that's going to be fun. That's something to look forward to. So yeah, I am at least I'm encouraged about the game. We were talking about before. I was extremely concerned about the lack of updates that they had been just the lack of coverage and updates of what's actually going on with this. And I assume that they wanted to say something about this game to let their stockholders know that we are doing something with this, because they obviously have had a good amount of money sunk into this, and for them not to have anything to show for it, would be very bad. especially a year later. I mean, they've had a lot of progress with a lot of the other portions of it, but when I mean, the manga portions of it are a lot easier when you're just doing it 2D. If you're like doing the anime portion of it, I mean, you can outsource anime and get that done a lot cheaper. Like if you're getting outsource animation to like Korea or something like that. Whereas if you are trying to get game development done, game development is a lot costlier. And if you're trying to do an online game, that's even more costlier. So, I mean, the good part of it is that their capital stock is, they at least have a good amount of capital stock in the company itself. I just hope that for 2023 they have more to show for the game than what they are currently putting forward, because I mean right now showcasing fetch quests and a relatively mundane world boss is not very it's progress. It's definitely progress. It's reassuring, but it's not enough. I mean, these are all stills of what the world should look like. Once they're doing construction and they add things to it. I mean again, this is a lot of this, they've done in Genshin Impact, but I mean, this was beyond 1.0. I mean, this is, and it took a lot of development for them to do the sandbox portion. I mean, they had to take the entire sandbox version of the teacup portion of the sandbox version offline for close to, I think, 6 months, and completely revamp it before they put it back online for people to rebuild on it. So I seriously wonder if they have thought about this. I mean, they at least have it looks like they have a weapon system built out, which is nice. I mean, you see that they have a skill tree here, which is good. But this just concerns me with. I mean, the good thing about this skill tree that we're seeing is so far, I don't see anything that looks like, okay, click here for microtransactions yet. I mean, that's the important thing. But I mean, again, this is alpha build, very much alpha build. So, all right. Well, that about covers what I wanted to cover so far. It looks like they have made some pretty good progress on everything, you know, and they have, you know, oh, they did give her a name. Ah, good. I was wondering if they were ever going to give her a name or a backstory, so that's good. Alright, so that about covers everything that I wanted to cover for HOLOEARTH and all the updates coming up so far. I just wanted to poke my head in here and give my 2 cents about everything that has been coming up here on the horizon. Please stay tuned for anything else. Hopefully, once my voice completely recovers, I will be able to stay on top of the news instead of having to follow up so lately on things, and be able to be on the news as it happens instead of after the fact. And then also, I do also plan on streaming later on this week. I have HOLOLive and what was the other one? Oh yeah, Crisis Core. HOLOLive and Crisis Core. That I plan on streaming later on this week. So, and then also continue Bayonetta. So we will catch you on the flip side with those two. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much for dropping in. I appreciate you guys dropping in. If you would please remember to give a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Take care. Be good to yourself. Peace.